Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus, and I'm taking a look back at my very first Arms Micron purchase, Ratchetto! Like other Arms Micron toys, there's an entire stickering and Micron assembly process, which you can view for better or for worse in my V-Build video series. Ratchet stickers are of a slightly stretchier type, and generally have adhered better than some other AM releases, but still tend to peel up here and there. Ratchet's vehicle mode has 3 pairs of Micron connection ports kinda bolted onto the paneling. They're all sculpted to try and flow with his aesthetic, but in general the effect's diminished due to their being cast in a dull gray plastic that sticks out like a sore thumb. I wish they'd been done in white. Color-wise, this version of Ratchet loses its silver bumper, but adds shiny silver and metallic bulbs to its front grille and light bar, as well as an Autobot symbol. Adding in the headlights is a small improvement, and the metallic finish on the light bar is a cool difference, but the shiny silver paper grille just doesn't feel as smooth as the Hasbro silver paint. Most notably, Ratchetto has added the lifeline detail missing from its North American counterpart. While the effect is a big plus, the feeling of improvement dissipates as one realizes that there still is absolutely nothing but white plastic on the back of the vehicle mode. These stickers could be added to the Prid Ratchet, but the lifeline will have a missing chunk due to the Micron port. Through his stickers, Ratchetto replicates almost all of the Prid Deluxe's robot mode paint apps, missing only the blue windows and orange shin stripes. He adds an Autobot logo to the collar, and vestigial pulse line fragments that demonstrate the biggest problem with trying to get the top of the toy's forearms to be orange like in the show. They're also part of the side of the truck. You'd almost think the CG models were cheating somehow. R.A., or Arue, whose name is based on the letters in Ratchet's name, is a nondescript little robot man with a huge knife attached to his back. He also has bladed shoulders and a goofy little doctor motif in his face sculpt, and has a bit of charm to him. R.A. is as barely jointed as many Minicon robot modes past, and most unfortunately, barely detailed in terms of color. His stickers focus on blade edges and a few strips on his chest and shins. The biggest loss here is a lack of any coloration on his face, which makes its clever sculpt easy to lose sight of in his sea of gray. Transformation is a slightly unsatisfying breeze, resulting in an enormous version of Ratchet's scalpel weapon. It plugs in just like the small Prid versions, making for a much more super robot-style interpretation of the melee-capable Dr. Bot. I love how crazy it looks, and really hope to pick up one of the countless RA variations in future, so Ratchet can do some dual wielding of this enormous implement. Sadly, this does mean that the Arms Micron release lacks either of the smaller scalpels that the Prid version came with. Arms Micron Ratchet feels like there is a downside in exchange for every improvement. He has added a few visual details, but lacks others that the Prid version retains. He comes with a neat little Micron, but lacks his regular scalpels and is covered in slightly distracting Micron ports. If you can get a good deal on this guy and haven't found the Prid version, honestly, try and find the Prid version. Unless you've found the Arms Micron version for cheaper than its English language counterpart, there are better options for all of its pros. The Micron RA appears in a lot of other Arms Micron releases, and if you really want the missing visual details, check out the Repro Label set before you grab this guy. Arms Micron Ratchet was interesting when he came out, but other than his Micron ports, he's entirely superfluous at this point. Anyway, this has been internet personality Vangelus. Did you know this was the only Arms Micron pre-order I had at first? He's a really weak release, and yet I ended up with so many more from that line. A lot of them were better than this guy, but not all of them.